bars been so back and forward. 2 minutes in, and see, now it's XLSX. It looks like they might lose the advantage. It's been such a back and forward flip-flop game right now. You can't really tell, who has the strong advantage here, because I say neither team does.
Yeah, it's going to be like every single time you see one team get a good couple of splats, they immediately lose that advantage pretty quickly. The tower is going to go back towards the middle as Kenny tries to whale this out. Their teammate gets one splat, not going to quite get the follow-up, and actually does get taken down by the Nozzle Nose.
Yeah, the Nozzle Nose from Skose, again, his comfort pick, and he does so well on it, but the punish from the K-Pro, it feels like one person gets splatted by another, then they get splatted by the next person. We see it goes back and forth, but Rain right now on a bit of a tear, but then as we see, taken out by that member of XLSX on the end zap, just holding mid right now, but if they can't get past mid and get the lead, it's not going to help them, although those 2 picks should help them secure some sort of push here.
Yeah, you would think so anyway, as it slowly goes back towards the first checkpoint. They haven't actually broken it yet. They've got a very good chance to do so now, but the Splatterscope is not where you want to be in the middle of the tower. They do manage to get the pick off the Julies, and oh no, there's just the end zap left. It's just the zap that's left there on the tower. They're hanging on. They do make it through. They at least break the checkpoint, but it's a 2-point game now.
That was a crucial break on the checkpoint from Second. Again, if they can get the same push they just did right then, because the checkpoint's moved, that will lead to a lead. But I mean, right now, a lead of 61 really isn't much on this map mode. Like, either team could still win this game with this sort of lead. It doesn't look advantageous to either. XLSX do lose Toon right now. It looks like Zekin's in a bit of an unfavorable situation as well. Only the Charger left. So, Spicy Boys need to get a big push right now. Because I don't think you feel safe with a hold of 61 this map.
Yeah, and Kadis is the only one left alive as well. So they're going to have to wait for the rest of their team to spawn in. Here they come now. The Inkwell just going to get quickly recovered. But the priority here is the tower. It's inching closer to 61. That's going to be more points on the board for Spicy. And it is. They've got more points, and the Stingray coming out as well. And they're just starting to swim up towards the base. They have the confidence here, and they're at the second checkpoint.
They're at the second checkpoint, and they break it. Kenny on the side of Spicy Boys doing so much work for his team. I love that play from Spicy Boys. They didn't even secure many picks. They just took so much space and pushed so far up, so that the members of XLSX couldn't just hold forwards into the tower. If they did that, they knew they would have been taken out. They had to play slower, and then the tower got all the way to 37 because of it. They had a lot of specials here. The game's still winnable. There needs to be a big push. They need to perfectly use these armors and inkjet, but Zekin going down is not what you want to see when he has that income already.
Now the Pro does go down in the end, and both of the head zaps are down on XLSX. And the let's say the Stingray, it is the Stingray technically, but the scope on the tower quickly had to hop off it, realizing full well that Star is probably going to get the pick on them as well. 10 seconds left on the clock. They're holding on to Stingray. You know what they're going to do with it.
You know what they're going to do with it. They're going to go for that GG Ray. Backing off now, hopefully trying to get their, their teammate close to tower so they can jump over the Ray, but no teammates near tower. They have the end up in spawn, but no one nearby. This could certainly be a win for XLSX if they're not careful. They have the armor on tower, breaking the checkpoint. Ray's trying to push through. 2 people are pushing on tower, Spicy Boys. Kenny's there, but they both get taken out. That's a wipe, and that's XLSX taking the lead in the last second. That's a classic tower control snowball right there.
Stingray did not work out for them in the slightest. You just saw consistently XLSX just jumping on and off that tower for dear life, but somehow keeping it in their possession. And Spicy Boys let that slip away. Look at Kurisu with 22 splats with the end zap.
Kurisu and Zekin with a shared 22 and 17k on the end zaps. They're both providing so many crucial hours to get all those assists and also getting all the splats. They're both aggressive, strong players, but the fact that, they're also playing the more supportive map and getting all the pain and arbors down is so crucial for their team. And, that really secured them a strong push in that game. It was definitely looking scary for them. It took them a long time to get that push, but when they did, they won the game. And I mean, that was scary for Spicy Boys. Having no one near tower to follow up on the Stingray was really, really worrying for a second, and that's what didn't win them the game.
Yeah, it's like if you have somebody on hand, it generally does help with that Stingray, because not only are they being pressured by the Ray itself, but they've also got you yourself to deal with as well, and any additional ink that you can fling towards the tower, it just helps to stall it and get them off there. And it just goes to show that even when you have such a bit of a deficit like that going into the overtime segment, all that matters is if you have the lead right at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you need. You could be, holding that, the 37 lead didn't really come early either. That did come in the last minute of the game. But, even with if you're controlling the game for the full, first 90%, if you're not winning for that last 10%, you're not going to win the game, because that's the sort of game this is. It's about those last pushes. And right now, we're going to see a very similar comp from XLSX, but this time going with the Bamboozler, because it's Spartans.
Yeah, we got double the Bamboozler, one on each side for XLX and Spicy Boys. The double end zap comp is still going to come out from XL. I mean, it worked in the previous match, so why not go for it again? And the Tetras are already down on Spicy Boys' side.
Petra's already down, and XLSX gonna capitalize off that. They're going all the way with that inkjet, but a zap down on their side, as we say. One goes down on one side, one goes down the other. And it looks like that's gonna be Spicy Boys taking advantage now.
Yeah, that is a full wipe indeed, and Spicy just immediately go for the turf coverage all the way onto the far right side. It's great to do that on Spat Zones because there's so many different places you can get the specials charged up. They are going to wrestle control back on this double zone stage, and Kenny does have ink armor. Probably going to pop it in a couple seconds. Needs to win out this inkjet first.
Yeah, needs to get out of this inkjet's range. No one getting taken out by the inkjet, but Zia a bit too far away, gets punished by the emos of XLSX. Very nice punish to try and get a push back in now. Kenny just pushed a bit far back and Ray all the way away. This should be XLSX taking zone, but Kenny doesn't want to get taken out here. If he can punish some people going too far, like he does with his teammate there, that was beautiful from Star and Kenny. Taking out two, giving his team the perfect situation to retake the zone.
Yeah, it's just the Bamboozler that got the pick in the end. I mean, are we surprised that the Bamboozler gets the one shot with all of that main power? You'll love to see it on both sides.
Yeah, all that main power up giving him one-shot potential. That's really, really nice. But the zone not quite going over there, so it's definitely still a bit of a skirmish going on in mid right now.
Yeah, I was going to say it's still looking predominantly blue though, and they are going to wrestle control back here, Spicy Boys, as the inkjet once again forces Ray to hop on back a little bit, but they're not going to worry too much about it. Booyah is going to come out. That is going to stall out. Missiles are going to come out as well, so they're going to have to vacate the zone. Gets two splats already. This could be a triple if they are not careful here. No, does actually get picked by the Bamboo.
The double Booyah bomb was very nice, but the Bamboo again with a great punish. I mean, that double Booyah really opened up the team. Again, remember the XLSX not giving up too much control. They think they can get, right back in here. And the Bamboo probably looking for some missiles, just trying to play around. But no, he's found a flanker, trying to take out this Petra team with his teammate. That's a crucial pick to get back in. The missiles is going to give XLSX what they need to get back control if they can.
Certainly can. Such a bomb will take hold of one. They're halfway onto the other one, but it's just not quite dipping their way here. And missiles are not going to be too far away from being charged, and it looks like they finally do take control. They do, despite losing the nozzle nose. They finally do get the picks. The Pro and the Tetris going down yet again.
Yeah, again, they're going down, and the ends up getting taken out from XLSX. This is such a scrappy game. I feel like so many bodies are dropping on both sides. All the missiles catching the Bamboo in the rotation is going to allow members of Spicy Boys to push forwards. They need to push up together here to find those places, and that's what they do. Zia and Ray finally playing together is going to, give them what they need to make sure that neither gets picked alone.
Yeah, and with that, control comes back into Spicy Boys as Star just quickly vacates towards the left. They need to get a bit more of a better vantage point, as everybody is just jostling for position once again. The ink past the 50. They are going to lose control of the one, so the inkjet comes out yet again. Star's in a very bad predicament, but thankfully the inkjet gives up.
The inkjet does give up, it's forced to eventually, and even though Star pops those missiles, they're all alone and forced to jump out. That's giving XLSX a lot of space to deal with here, so no specials on the side of Spicy Boys yet. They're going to need to find something here to get back in, and Zia going down is not going to be what they need to get back in with the missiles getting pushed onto their side.
Yeah, and you just saw the pair of them just go back into spawn, just let the missiles come down and regroup and try again. But all of this is allowing XLS to close the gap. And if they keep this up, they may actually take the lead here. I don't think they're going to cover the second point in time, and that is going to be lead going to their way of the XLS. And quickly wrestles control right back in, gets the shot on Ray as well. And they're going to try and follow it for a second. Not going to quite get it on this occasion, but again, the inkjet pressure is now favoring XLSX.
Control is really in XLSX's favor here. You really see Spicy Boys are falling apart right now. They're panicking, they're dropping alone. Ray, once again, has dropped to territory alone. Most likely going to get taken out if he's not careful. He does find a trade, but getting taken out is not what you want. Spicy Boys might have a situation to put back in here, but with only two members left. Very nice play from Star, though, will hopefully lead to control, but in the last 50 seconds of the game, when the enemy team's got 7, they might not even take control. It's not looking nice for the side of Spicy Boys right now. They're going to need to try and hold around these zones, paint a bit more. Don't take out Goze, very nice from Star, and that will be control going in, but in the last 40 seconds, they're going to need a monster hold to keep this game.
They certainly are, and they just get the trade as well, so they'll at least get one of the splats. But again, they're going to quickly lose control of one of the zones. They cannot afford to have this continue their way, especially with 30 seconds to go. Ray will at least be able to potentially take one of these zones, pop the Booyah right in the center. Just about close, he covers one, but cannot get any kind of leverage, and they're on their own again on the far left side, and again another trade, but crucially, XLS have the zones.
XLSX have the zones in the last 10 seconds. Kenny's going to need to make a monster play here to the game. He does take out one. That's the start. He starts pinning his zone, gets the second, but the Bamboo, of course, one of the greatest counters into the ends out without armor, just destroys it right there and then. That's the game going to overgo to XLSX, giving him a 2-0 lead in this first series of the day.
You gotta love teams with just the letters in their names. It can trip you up every now and then,
It really
but
can.
again, just so consistent in the second half of that match with XLSX. I mean, everybody's scoring on just about double digits. Donaldson was just about hitting 10. But again,
Yeah.
the consistency from XLS is the fact that it was very cagey, let's say, for the first half. Like, consistently, we were seeing the same thing in the first match where everybody was just trading splats left, right, and center. And then suddenly, it's almost like Spicy Boys just kind of just dropped off the face of the planet in terms of consistency because they just panicked massively. And every play was just not going their way. They would find themselves in 1v2 situations, let's say.
They really did. I think looking at that game in general, I mean, even from the point Spicy Boys did have control, they were playing alone a lot of the time. Ray and Zia not going together too often, and when they did, they've had a lot of success. So I think, if they can make an adaptation going into this game, try and have Zia and Ray play more around each other. They don't have to sit next to each other. One of them's a Tetra flying around the map, the other one's a Pro a bit slow. But if the Pro can try and be, near where the Tetra's planning to go in to follow up on some attention that the Tetra's going to bring towards it, to find some, 2v2s, 2v1s, that would be really, really favorable for them. Because I think one big difference we saw is XLSX were always just moving together. You had like 3 shooters just walking forwards together with armor. And sometimes, that could lead them to be a bit too grouped up, but most of the time, that led them to have much more favorable advantages in fights.
Absolutely. As we go into our third match, it is Clam Blitz time, and we're going to see that Nozzlenose coming out with the 2 N-Zaps and the Bamboozle for XLS. On Spicy Boy's side, we're going to see a little bit of a shake-up. We're going to see the Neo Splash coming out alongside that Pro, so no more Tetras on this occasion.
Oh, no more Tetris on this occasion, but that Zap's still in Kenny's hands, doing great, but getting picked off, so that's going to be a bit of a trade, but that will be Spicy Boys getting the first man advantage in this game, but definitely still very even here.
Yeah, I was going to say, very much still early days. The first 30 seconds, you just never know which way it will go, especially with Clam Blitz, a little bit more chaotic, not as straightforward as Tower and Spat Zones. And currently, the Clam count is on the side of Spicy Boys, but it can quickly change, and Kadisu is all the way back there. 4 Clams to their name, just about backing up. They've got InkStorm almost charged up. They cannot afford to let the barrier go immediately, and it's Spicy who gets the first points.
Yeah, Spicy Boy's been in control of mid this entire game, and they've really taken advantage of that. They managed to take more clams than that, and they get a really nice first push, but very nice from Skoze just coming in and cleaning up. I think that's taking up 2 or 3 there on that push. I couldn't quite, tell, but Skoze having a very, very nice defense there. Cleaning up for his team. I think he's a bit worried about Stolen being behind him. Oh, no, sorry. Never mind, he's not looking at his board, he's looking at the enemy team's board as he goes off the Inkjet. Unfortunately, only finding a trade, but still opening it up for his team to score 1 clam, but only 1 and having to run all the way in and get a suicide for it. It's not going to be exactly what you want. Zekken does take the lead and does get down to 59. That's not a monstrous push considering that your team is going to be going down and you are giving up mid to Spicy Boys now.
I mean, crucially, they will have the lead, but you know full well that Spicy Boys, well, they've been aggressive from the get-go. They're probably going to go straight back at this, and the rest of the XLS are still respawning in, consistently going down 1 at a time, and Kenny's going to pop the armor. This is going to be another big push happening. Star will get the dunk, and I think they'll quickly take back the lead, and this they do.
Yes, they do take back the lead, and they still have a lot of control. Getting it down all the way to 37 and still having control of it. This space is great. They do need to keep this control as they collect more clams from mid, though. They don't have any to spawn. They're having to go back, collect them, but here they are. More clams coming through. I think that was 8 being scored, maybe 7. Ray just get that 1 more in, but they only need 4 more clams to steal this game. Ray pushing it 1 more, only 3 clams remaining. If they can get these clams in, they win, but they have to win this engagement here. Only 1 more clam needed. Kenny needs to win 1, but that clam's not going to be going in. But getting it all the way down to 1, a knockout is required from XLSX to take this game, and from the way this Spicy Boys have been playing, that's going to be extremely hard. This is looking very different from the other games with such an early big advantage in the first 2 minutes 30 of Spicy Boys.
That was such an amazing push for them as well, and it's like, you have to feel for the Bamboozle. It's like, do you want to commit to the 1v3? I mean, it's like, the rest of your team have already gone back, so it's like, you've got nothing to really lose at this point, but we also know that they have managed to pull this from overtime before. So I guess if anybody can do it, it is probably going to be XLS. They do have 2 footballs on the field. InkStorm has been popped as well, so you feel like the push is coming, and they are going to get through. Caught the nap in there and do get the score.
Yeah, they do get the score, and they do get a pick on Zia, but they are going to be losing 2 of their own numbers. They get a lot of points in, and they are going to get another power and getting it all the way down to 7. Karisu going to hopefully score 2 more clams, bring it all the way down to 1, and Karisu! Karisu there just not getting taken out. Someone on high ground from Spicy Boys just wasn't, giving him the attention he needed, and that's the set over. If he was just like that, I thought we were going to, go to game 4. Spicy Boys looked like they were going to push back and take that defense. That didn't look like a game-winning push, but Karisu just staying in their spawn and getting that knockout. What a monster play, cleaning up that first series.
Remember what I said about if anybody could come back from this, it's XLS? Well, there you go. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me. It was just like you thought like that was surely going to be in Spicy's favor, but just unfortunately nobody took out Kurisu, and they were just like, well, I've got another football and I've got 2 clams right here. I could totally win this. And